Seibei at Dusk was filmed in 2002, and is set in the night before the Meiji Restoration, in the late shogunate period of the Kaisaka clan in Japan, where Seibei Aguchi, a lowly samurai with a meager salary, is left to take care of his family of 2 young daughters and his elderly mother after the untimely death of his wife, who contracted tuberculosis. He was left to take care of his 2 young daughters and his elderly mother. He was also in debt. Every day at the end of the work is close to dusk. Other colleagues can go to drink and relax. Seibei hurried back home, not with colleagues to socialize. Because of this, he was nicknamed Seibei at Dusk by his colleagues. On this day, Seibei encounters Inuma, a close friend whom he has not seen for many years. During his conversation with Inuma, Seibei learns that Inuma's younger sister, Tomo, is living in her mother house after her husband, Toyota Oda, divorced her due to his brutality. Tomo and Seibei have known each other since childhood and are childhood friends. Tomo learns of Seibei's predicament and helps him with his household chores. Seibei family, which is in a very difficult situation, is a happy place to live. One night, Seibei sends Tomo home and meets Toyota Oda, who has come to Inuma's house in a drunken stupor. This was Tomo's ex-husband, who had asked Inuma to divorce his sister due to domestic violence, which made Toyota Oda feel humiliated. So he came to the house in a drunken stupor, and was about to unsheath his sword. Seibei stopped Toyota Oda and requested a duel with Toyota instead of Inuma, who was not good at swordsmanship. In the next day duel, Seibei defeats the arrogant Toyota Oda with a wooden stick, and his reputation as a master swordsman spreads in private. After this incident, Tomo frequented Seibei's home and became very close to Seibei's daughters. She helped Seibei to take care of the family, and seemed to be a ray of sunshine in Seibei's troubled life. One day, Inuma formally proposes to Seibei for his sister, but Seibei declines because his family is poor and he doesn't want Tomo to suffer. Tomo never comes to his door again, and Seibei is left with a sense of loss. But life goes on as usual. He is still the same Seibei who rushes home at dusk every day. At this time, the lord of the Kaisaka clan seems to be involved in a struggle at the top of Edo politics, and in order to separate himself from his subordinates, who are suspected of plotting against him, he orders a number of samurai in the clan to commit harakiri. And when the inspector, Yugasunmon, refuses to obey because of his skill with the sword, Seibei receives an order to kill Yugasunmon. As a samurai, Seibei is unable to resist the Lord order and is forced to comply. Before his departure, Seibei confesses his long-hidden love for Tomo, but Tomo has already agreed to a marriage proposal from someone else. So Seibei can only embark on a journey with his life and death in the balance. Yugasunmon, who had locked himself in a large room, stated, "What crime is it to serve your superior, Hasegawa Shima? How dare you ask me to commit harakiri? If you wish to take my life, please send someone to fight me." When Seibei entered the large house, he knew who had come, for there was no one in the entire Kaisaka clan but Seibei who was his opponent. The 2 men did not fight right away, and Yugasunmon begged him to let him live. Seibei asked, "Is this what a samurai should say?" Yugasunmon begins to confide in Seibei. talking about his miserable life as a lowly samurai, and how he has to make me commit harakiri when doing his duty for his superior. Hasegawa Shima is also carrying out the Lord orders. He thought if he could escape and get away from this place, maybe wait until the near future. The world will change soon. Maybe there will be a new life. Seibei also talks about how, because of his poverty, he had to sell his ancestral sword when his wife died in order to bury her with honor. He told Yugos Yunmon that what he was holding was nothing more than a bamboo sword. This last sentence made Yugos Yunmon color change. You want to use a bamboo sword to take my life? At this moment, Yugos Yunmon thought that he had suffered a great shame. He drew his weapon and chopped at Seibei, who, at this point, had no choice. The fight episode wasn't good. And by so-called good, I'm following the various sci-fi movies as a reference. There was no Godawful flying around of any kind, and none of the dozens of rounds of the big fight you can imagine. Just a menacing to swords. In the end, a bloodied Seibei walks out of the big house victorious. The movie about Seibei's final ending is explained to the audience with a narration by his daughter. Seibei and Tomo end up in love. But 3 years later, Seibei goes to war with the lord of the clan and is killed by artillery fire in a battle against the emperor army. In the later Meiji Restoration, Seibei's past colleagues became wealthy and prosperous. And when they talked about this once dusky Seibei, they always said with emotion, "What an unfortunate man." However, Seibei's daughter thought differently, and her recollection goes like this. I often heard them say that Seibei was really an unfortunate man. But I do not think so. My father was not a man who thirsted for merit. He would never have considered himself unfortunate. With a daughter who loved him dearly, and the love of the beautiful Ms. Tomo, his short life was full of good memories. The movie about Seibei's final ending is explained to the audience with a narration by his daughter. Seibei and Tomo end up in love. But 3 years later, Seibei goes to war with the lord of the clan and is killed by artillery fire in a battle against the emperor army. In the later Meiji Restoration, Seibei's past colleagues became wealthy and prosperous. And when they talked about this once dusky Seibei, they always said with emotion, "What an unfortunate man." However, Seibei's daughter thought differently, and her recollection goes like this. I often heard them say that Seibei was really an unfortunate man. But I do not think so. My father was not a man who thirsted for merit. He would never have considered himself unfortunate. With a daughter who loved him dearly, and the love of the beautiful Ms. Tomo, his short life was full of good memories. Seibei doesn't say much, but every time he does he is memorable. At home Seibei was doing handicrafts while his daughter was reciting the anal Ecedius of Confucius, and Seibei urged her to study hard. Suddenly, his daughter asked, "As a woman, I can make kimonos or yukata in the future after I learn tailoring. So what is the use of studying?" Seibei gazed at his daughter and then told her, "Perhaps studying is not as useful as learning to tailor, but studying gives you the ability to think, so that you know how to think. And no matter how the world changes, as long as you can think, you will be able to survive." And this is true for both men and women. This conversation made an extremely deep impression on me. It was haunting, and I took it to heart forever. I was moved by it. I love the image of such a man. I love that moment of twilight.